It's time for our daily dose of Cope, and we have Trixie Spottom at the correspondent's desk today. There are so many faces being eaten and so many stories to get to, so let's jump right into it. It's wild that there are so many opportunities to do my little dance to that song. We have another example of a Cuban being deported. So this woman posted to the Leopards ate my face, and this is her caption. She says, Trump supporter voted for Trump and was vocally pro-deportation for undocumented criminals. His Cuban girlfriend with a history of illegal drug use has been deported. As a consequence of his vote in support of the Donald Trump administration, she was taken by ICE. We get a series of Facebook posts. This person says, I need blank back. We need her back. I need everyone's help, please. ICE is not working with us. Totally set her up. They called her into the immigration office and they told her that they needed to talk to her to work on her case. And it was a trap. They set it all up and grabbed her like a criminal. They stole her from my life. They ripped apart my life and family. I am so sad. I need everyone's help, please. I need her back. She is being treated like a criminal. She is the sweetest person in the world. 25 years legally in this country with a permanent visa from Cuba. It's 15 years and we've been dating the past 4, living together. We've never lost our romance and love for each other and respect for each other. This is not going to be easy. I need everybody's help, please. Please share. That was June 7th. On June 15th, that man put out a GoFundMe because he needs as much help as possible. A week after that, on June 22nd, Blank just got a message from Inside Today saying she doesn't get a court date. There is a final order. I don't understand why they have to torture us. She is not a criminal. I fear they are set on deportation. We are so sickened by this whole thing. This is so effed up. This is just so wrong in so many ways. I'm going to have to move out of this country to be with her. Pretty effed up. She has lived here legally 25 years, over half her life in this country legally. This government is effing our lives up. And they don't give an F about who they hurt. Here's most recently saying, to all the people that want to say, I told you so, or say, I get what I deserve. This is what I voted for now. This is not what I voted for. To all you heartless people out there that are not helping the cause or comforting the situation. If you're not coming up with solutions to fix our problems here in this county, you're pretty good at coming up with rhetoric, but not good at coming up with solutions. Using this situation as a political game for your parties. Then shut the F up and leave my life alone. Unfriend me if that's what it takes. We don't need negative people at this time, so kindly go away. And thank you to the hundreds of people that have actually reached out to me to help us. Remember, we all have more in common than what we disagree on. Life is short and precious. No room for a-holes. You can kick me in the balls later after Blank gets home, please. They don't want to make it political now. I'm going to keep referring to this picture. It says mass deportation now. All of these white people are holding up this sign, and Cubans got a little cute. They thought that they were tangentially white. They're spicy mayo. They are not white, and they are getting their wake-up call right now. Like I said, literally every day I could do my little shimmy if I wanted to, because they keep getting jacked up and caught up by ICE. You know what? They gonna learn. This is literally what they voted for. I'm not going to randomly hone in on that lady like I've been doing. I'm not going to do it today. Now I want to talk about this New Hampshire man that's stuck up in Canada. And yes, he is a MAGA supporter. So this story is coming out of Boston. Very uncertain. New Hampshire man denied re-entry to the United States after family trip to Canada. Chris Landry, a 46-year-old Canadian citizen and legal resident of the United States, has lived in New Hampshire since he was 3. He has a partner, 5 children, and a job in manufacturing. He was stopped Sunday at the border in Holton, Maine, while returning from a family vacation. That's gonna suck, having 5 kids and daddy has to be up in Canada and she gotta be down in New Hampshire alone. They pulled me aside and started questioning me about my past convictions in New Hampshire, Landry told NBC 10 Boston. 3 hours later, the 46-year-old was told he couldn't come home despite having a green card and being a legal U.S. resident. They denied me re-entry. Don't come back or we will detain you. And the only way to come back was to see an immigration judge. In 2004 and 2007, Landry faced charges of marijuana possession and driving with a suspended license, but he said he's had no criminal record since then. He was given a suspended sentence and paid his fines. I never thought that would threaten my status as a resident of the United States. U.S. Customs and Border Protection told NBC Boston, possessing a green card is a privilege, not a right, and under our nation's laws, our government has the authority to revoke a green card if our laws are broken and abused. Skipping down to the bottom, it's just very uncertain for me right now. I might end up spending the rest of my life in Canada. Who knows if I'll ever have the right to re-enter the United States at this point. The children, all American citizens, will make their way home in the days ahead. Landry says he goes to Canada at least once a year and has never had a problem until now. As a Canadian citizen, he couldn't vote for president, but he supported Donald Trump. He blames the Trump administration's crackdown on immigration for his plight. I was definitely all for Make America Great Again and having a strong, unified country and a bright future for my 5 American children, but now I feel a little differently. I've been torn from my family. My life has been disregarded completely. He thought that he was special, probably because he's white. This man's name is Sebastiano Gimayaro, and if I mispronounced it, please forgive me. But regardless, this is a brown man's name. He says, I'm truly saddened by all of the evil my president is heaping on Mexicans. He's a MAGAtino, definitely. Mexicans, not all, are not what Trump keeps saying. I'm a Republican. I voted for Mr. Trump. But today, seeing the disaster happening in my country, I have to tell you that I'm fed up. I did vote Republican, but I disagree with everything I see on the streets of my country. This is not what a good citizen dreams of seeing on the streets. I apologize to all the good Mexicans I know, but I will never change my politics. I will always be a Republican. He's going to keep being a MAGAtino. He's going to keep voting against his own interests. These people will never learn, and this is the reason why I wish for them the worst. I wish for them to get it worse and first, because they don't listen, they don't care, and they will keep doing the exact same thing over and over. I've talked about how Idaho was losing hospitals. Now let's talk about how their school system is going to be jacked up because they keep voting red. Boise School District issues letter sharing potential effects of federal funding freeze. The Trump administration withheld more than $6 billion in federal education funds. The district said it would face difficult decisions without the funding. In early July, the Trump administration withheld nearly $6 billion in federal grants for after-school and summer programs for immigrant children and low-income students. While the effects of the funding freeze are unknown, the Boise School District wanted to address staff and families in the district. So Idaho gets $33 million. Boise gets $1.5 million in grants. These federal programs are essential to providing professional learning for our staff, supporting multilingual learners, and offering safe and enriching learning opportunities for students, the district wrote in the news release. Without this funding, we will face difficult decisions that could affect student supports and services. On July 1st, programs received a notice from the Education Department stating that they would not receive their already congressionally allocated funds and would not be released until their program was reviewed. According to the AP, the administration stated the review of the grants is to make sure it aligns with Trump's priorities, as it claimed it helped fund a radical left-wing agenda. Probably just waste, fraud, and abuse as well. Now let's talk about this small town that has budget cuts because of funding that has been snatched. I'm going to start here where it's highlighted in red. Unfortunately, not everything at Lions Park provides a reason to celebrate. I want to address an issue that has deeply disappointed our city. This is not a political statement or attack in any way. I firmly believe that our community needs to understand how decisions are made in Washington, D.C. impact us right here at home. The federal government has unexpectedly withdrawn a $500,000 grant awarded to College Place for the renovation of Lions Park. This grant was part of the Inflation Reduction Act program through the National Endowment for the Arts, and we had a signed grant agreement in hand. Based on that commitment, we proceeded with the project planning and incurred expenses, trusting that the federal government would honor its word. These funds were not a luxury. They invested in our children and made our community more inclusive. The renovation plans included a groundbreaking playground designed to be accessible for children of all abilities, providing disabled children with a rare and joyful opportunity to play alongside their peers. It is unfathomable to us that such an effort could be viewed as wasteful. College Place was diligent, responsible, and forward thinking in our planning. Having this commitment taken away after the fact is unfair and harmful to the very residents we are striving to serve. I'm not going to continue to read this. Obviously, this person is just disappointed. He is going to continue to try to fund this park, but he was saying in the ending that $500,000 is now just not going to be able to upgrade the other parks in the area since the government is pulling this funding. This was the caption that was connected to it. Voters in Walla Walla, Washington voted for Trump and his budget cuts and have their park improvements cut as well. And then Destiny says, I'm glad they described why it happened clearly. That's important for people to get any concept of cause and effect. And then He Who Is a Person says, I expect a good chunk of them to see Inflation Reduction Act, Google it, see it was a Biden initiative, and conclude that it's his fault the grant got canceled. And to that, the OP said, well put. And this is why doing your own research is an effing travesty. And that's the thing. People really applauded all of the cuts that the Trump administration and Doge were doing, but they don't realize how many things that those Inflation Reduction Act actually funded. So now they are faced with their projects being pulled and jobs being lost.
So you want to know how Texas Republicans got people killed? In 2016, Kirk County commissioners had an engineer report that they had commissioned to find out whether or not their emergency alert systems were good enough along the Guadalupe River. And the report came back no. But they intentionally did not update the system. They were given the money. They were given the money once by Biden, and they were given the money once by Obama. And this was what was said in court. Somebody on Reddit found this, by the way. Somebody that is like me, who is able to go through meeting notes and things like that. I'm guessing whoever put this together was probably in the meeting and remembered it. Or they know how to use the keyword searches on the county websites. You can do this in the Texas legislature online too. System. I used to teach. Maybe I'll do a little lecture on how to do it on here so people can do it themselves. Commissioner Moser, the cost of that whole thing is going to be like $976,000. They're talking about sirens. There is a FEMA grant that's available as long as we apply by January 20th. This is the money Obama was going to give them, Judge Pollard, which is when President Obama goes out of office. Laughter. It's hilarious. It's hilarious that Obama tried to give them money to update their systems and that they're not going to use it, I guess. Big laugh there. Commissioner Reeves, and I will say, and Sheriff, you can correct me if I'm off base on this, the camps have a very good system of letting downriver know if there's a rise. So why should we have to do anything? I mean, I know we're in charge of the county. I know the federal government's giving us grants, but like, my dudes, they can just like give each other a little ringy-ding. Like, you know. This water runs like many miles an hour, by the way. That's how ridiculous this is. But give them a little ring-a-ding. This is the best part. Are you ready for this? Judge Pollard, dead in the water. Get it? Because the project's dead in the water. Commissioner Moser, dead in the water. Right, it's dead in the water. Or pun for flood warning system. It's dead in the water. See, you get it? Because everybody's dead in the water right now. Get it? So the first comment is, just to be clear, from a resident. It's not from one of the county commissioners, but this is from a resident in Kerr County. And I'm here to ask this court today to send this money back to the Biden administration, which I consider to be the most criminal, treasonous, communist government ever to hold the White House. And Kerr County should not be accepting anything from these people. So that's what I have to say to you. Free money. Hell no. Not from around here. Commissioner Bello, and this is Wild, okay? Commissioner Bello, we have the money in the bank. $5.1 million that was sent to Kerr County. Judge Kelly, we didn't ask for it. They sent it. Commissioner Bello, they sent it. Ms. Duo, exactly. The audacity. They just sent it. How dare you? Take your money and go, sir. This is truly, truly the most nefarious part. Commissioner Bello, by the way, if they don't use the money, they have to give it back. My old law partner, John Cornyn, tells me that if we send it back, it's going to New Jersey. Ugh, imagine. Or it's going to New York. Or it's going to, Miss Lavender, California. I don't know if I'd rather be the custodian of the money until we decide that we have to do it with rather than give it back to the government to spend on values that we in Kerr County don't agree with. They didn't spend the money. They didn't. If they did, they didn't spend it on an emergency system. But they wanted to make sure that no liberals got their hands on it. And now 160 people missing. All of those people are almost certainly dead. 109 confirmed deaths. Probably close to 300 people are dead. Great job, guys. Bang up.